Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to another Friday night edition of the Pajama Party. I'm one of your hosts, Poppa DD. I'm here with Ketel.
Hello.
And Redwine.
Bonsoir, darling.
All right.
Happy Friday.
Hello.
Hey, we're back at it again.
Mm-hmm.
You sound like it's so bad. We back at it again. What's up?
Yeah, we're back at it again. I'm just saying, it's been quite a week.
Back at it to terrorize again.
It has, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. How's everybody doing?
Doing good.
Doing great.
Good. Yeah. This weather's been out of sight.
Yeah, it has been nice in the DMV, as they call it.
Yeah. Can't get no better than this. I wish we had days like this all the time.
Yeah, I would not complain.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm in Cali.
Yep.
We get it all the time here in Cali. I'm in Cali.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah, we
All right, well, Mr. Callie, what's our leading discussion tonight?
You know, the question I want to come up with tonight, not the question, but just
the topic?
The topic or the question, I guess. What do we have to fear? I wouldn't even say come 2024, but I guess with the next major election, when it seems that it's gotten to the point where Trump has made it that anybody that loses an election is going to be, with a contesting attitude. Will we ever move forward in an election? I mean, will we be able to choose a winner and a loser? I mean, legitimately, or just like a race? You know what I'm saying? I mean, George Bush's father was one term. I know a few senators that was one term. And it just seems like Trump has put it in people's mind that all you got to do is say that it was a fraud, it was and extend it and recount. Do we really have time for all that when we're trying to pick somebody new and just move on? What do you think about that? Because it seems like that's going to be the new norm, is to, an election being like, let's say, November 2nd. We don't get the results until February of the next year. Think about it. And I am not laughing. What do y'all think about that, Redwine? What do you think about that?
Well, I think if that becomes the new norm.
When?
Well, I'm saying if.
When?
If that, you asked me my opinion.
No.
My opinion is if it becomes the new norm, then the election process is going to become much more expensive, because all of the money spent on all those recounts and auditing the machines and all of that stuff are not free. So whatever it normally costs for an election, they're just going to add to the cost. They're adding to the time. They're adding to the aggravation. And then when it's all said and done, can anybody even trust the results after that? Because for people who were okay with the results, you put the question, not you, but the system puts the question in the minds of everybody like, well, was this really a fair election? Was it really rigged? And I think it's going to have a domino effect down the line. Then you're going to make people start feeling like, well, then what's the point? If it's going to be rigged anyway, why should I even bother to participate? And if people stop participating, we're really going to have a problem. That's my opinion.
That was kind of all over the place.
Well, I'm just saying, it's a domino effect, in my opinion.
All right. Go ahead. Ketel, what do you think about that?
I was going to say, you would think as advanced as technology has become, I mean, look at these cell phones. I mean, they change every 2 years, every year and a half. Why can't we find a system or machine, so to speak, that works, that's more accurate? If it's 95% accurate or 99.1 or whatever accurate. We keep relying on the wrong things, I guess. We just need to do a little better with our system. So, like I kind of agree with Redwine. You know, it's just a waste of time. You know, people are going to stop wanting to vote because I hate to say it, but I didn't vote until President Obama became, he was on the ballot, because I didn't believe in voting, because I just felt as if they already knew who the candidate was. So why am I wasting my time? But then I started thinking about my ancestors. They went through a lot for me to get here to be able to vote. So I said, okay, it's my civil duty to do that. So let's get it. Let's do a little better than what we're doing, more accurate. So that's my opinion.
That's a good point about improving the technology.
Interesting. So our initial question was, if you're just joining us, the initial first off the table discussion was, do you feel like there's going to be contested elections by the loser, being the fact that Trump done stuck a pinhole in what he feels is, and Redwine, you had your thing where you said, what was the synopsis of that again? I'm
saying that I don't know if it will, but I said if that becomes the new norm, it's going to be more expensive for the government to pay for these elections, whether it be federal, state, county, whatever.
You mean a recount or something? Or?
Yeah, I'm saying the cost of doing all the auditing and the recounts and the people involved in doing all that stuff is expensive.
Okay.
And then I think it's going to put doubt in the minds of the voters to make them wonder, can you trust the results, no matter when they finally come up with who the winner is? And I think it's going to just crash the whole system.
And what's her name again? Ketel?
Okay. All right.
And Ketel.
All right.
Ketel said. And Ketel was saying with technology, it should be a lot more volatile count of the situation. Yada yada yada.
Yeah, it should be a more efficient
advanced. Yeah.
Okay. All right. My opinion on the whole thing is that, personally, I think that Trump, first of all, was just a sore-ass loser. And the sad part about this, a sore-ass loser, which got to do with anybody in the world that loses, you have to go away graceful. You have to go away with dignity. And I'll put a black man in the same place of Donald Trump, and that was Cam Newton. Cam Newton, a couple years ago, he was not only the MVP, but the Carolina Panther was on fire the year he won that whole championship thing and went to the Super Bowl. But Denver and Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl whooped his black natural ass. And Cam, it came out with remember he had the little saying where he had some kind of little saying where he did not the commercial. He had his own.
Doing the dap
thing, dap, and the kids was doing it. Everybody was doing it. Now instead of him saying that we lost the game and getting on the thing, because during the press conference, young people and everybody's watching the press conference, Cam Newton showed his ass at the press conference, totally pissed off, totally upset, and lost all the DAP stuff and lost all the reputation of everything. And the Carolina Panthers eventually got rid of him. He's not even in football today because he showed his ass. And that's what happens to a black man. Now, Trump, for example, is setting the example that whenever you're a sore fucking loser, excuse the expression, but I said that to make my story sound better, whenever you lose, you can't because you think you got the reputation of the white skin, that you're going to go ahead and show your ass. Because you see what happened with Cam Newton with the black skin. Didn't get nowhere. But see, Trump having all his cronies, it got somewhere, but it got the Capitol totally invaded, knocked out, tripped out, all because of a sore loser would start the whole insurrection situation. So when we lose something, we should back off and come back and try again, and maybe come back with a better attitude when it comes to losing a woman, losing a man, losing a house, foreclosure, repossession of your car, anything in life that you lose. It's not what happens to you, it's how you interpret it and how you handle it. That's how you come out a better person on the other end. And like you said, Redwine, we should, whatever you said what to do to, and I'm not, knocking your thing, but when we say change anything or do anything different, we're catering to the loser, that complaint. We have to embrace the winner. Embrace the winner based on the numbers and however we tally, the initial tally, because we want to know who won by midnight. If the election's on November 2nd, we can't wait till November 17th. Fuck that. That's too long. We need to move on. And that's just my opinion. I'm not trying to talk, so I ain't trying to win no argument, but I'm just saying, let's stop catering in the sore-ass losers. And then
I'm going to go back to what Ketel said. Then we need to change the way that they do it. Because part of the problem is you got all of these votes coming in, like people that are American citizens that are overseas. They're trying to mail their stuff in. You got the mail-in votes. There was just too many different ways that people are voting.
But those ways was working until the sore loser said, "Oh shit, I lost. It's all fucked up."
No, I was talking about the time frame. I'm not saying they don't work. I'm saying they need to adjust the time frame so that you can get the results by midnight.
As long as we do it in between elections with everybody agreeing on it.
Coming in, 2 weeks after the election night, that's a problem. So they either need to back up on the days to say, all right, all of the mail-in stuff, all of the advanced stuff, all of that stuff needs to be backed up date-wise, get it all in so that by, like you said, by midnight, you should be able to go to bed and wake up the following morning and find out who won.
All right, so we'll do that between elections and with everybody in agreement of it.
All right,
so
I'm
next
on board.
time it's an election that we do it different. But in the meantime, our question was the sore loser backing stuff up, and then that's where we are with that.
Okay.
And like I said, we all have our opinions.
But I agree with
stuff.
you.
I don't need. I'm not trying to win no argument.
The sore loser needs to just bow out gracefully.
Bow out gracefully. I've lost some fine ass women in my life, and the motherfucker that took her, more power to his ass.
Hey, somebody's got to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can't win.
All right.
I will move on. Ketel, she gets tired of us talking too much.
All right.
I think that was a real solid subject right there, because we need to know what we're going to do in 2024 when the shit hit the fan again, because it will. Anyway. All right. Ketel, you got the rundown for us?
We sure do. All right. Let's get into these hot topics here. Hot topic: Bryant Laundrie confirmed dead, remains found. Okay. Also, privacy complicates jury selection in trial over Ahmaud Arbery's death. And district attorney refuses Philly train rape case. Also, a hidden and quitted headlines. Georgia high school only punished black students after protest. Also, black man receives $1 million donation for his nonprofit. And also, Utah school district allowed serious and widespread racial harassment. Also, our cocktail of the week, I got a surprise for you. What's popping with Poppa DD? We're going to lighten it up with our weird news. Buzzards settle in North Carolina town despite scare tactics. Also, 5-hour bus tour of Hong Kong caters to sleep deprived. And also, more than 90 snakes found under Northern California homes. All righty. I'm just saying, with Redwine, the NFL is the National Foul League. Also living for the city with Poppa DD, my Hollywood wrap-up. The Kiss It list. Of course, we have to do that, of course. The last word, that is it. So sit back, relax, get your favorite cocktail, and we'll be back with the hot topic.
So I was looking over the Cocktail of the Week archives, and we've had so many really great drinks over the past year and a half.
We've had our original signature drink called the Pajama Party and a Game Changer, and of course we have the last word.
I like the Revolution. It was Hennessy, lemon and lime juice, agave juice, and bitters with jalapeno slices.
Ooh-wee! I like that Crown Royal Flush with the Crown Royal, peach schnapps, and cranberry juice.
Oh yeah. And one of my favorites was the what's it called? The Dutch Mule. Yeah, the Dutch Mule with the Ketel orange vodka, lime juice, and ginger beer.
There are so many to choose from on the apajamaparty.com website.
So check out the Cocktail of the Week archives to get the recipes.
And you can find out how to make the Cocktail of the Week and sip along with us.
Are there instructions there too?
Sure they are, along with pictures of the drink so you know exactly what it's supposed to look like.
So what's that y'all got in your glass?
This is a boomerang.
Well, I got a Kinky Reed over here.
And I got the aviator.
Get the recipes at www.apajamaparty.com and click on Cocktail of the Week.
Cheers!
All right, welcome back to Pajama Party. One of your hosts, Poppa DD. I'm here with Ketel.
Hello.
And Redwine.
Bonsoir, darling. All right. Hey, Poppa DD, you're up first. Time to get into these hot topics. Let's see. What do we have first tonight? Oh, yeah, you got this story.
Yeah, you will give me this. This is a deep
story
story right here.
It, so you go right ahead.
Bryant Laundrie, confirmed dead, remains found. This has got to be the most wackiest story of the century, you know? And I think the fact that it involved the other persuasion and the fact that it was down there in Florida, looks like some people just got away with murder in some respect. Okay? The remains found near the what they call the Carlton Reservation belonging to Brian Laundrie, a missing 23-year-old wanted in connection with the murder of his fiancee. Remember Gabby Petito? Law enforcement has been searching for Laundrie since his parents, Chris and Roberta, who should be thrown in jail, I just want to put that out there, reported him missing on September 17th. Okay? His disappearance came days before Gabby's remains were found in Wyoming. Okay? Where the couple had been visiting during a month-long cross-country road trip, which they wanted to document it for the social media. They documented the whole situation. All right, large-scale manhunt for Laundrie yielded minimal results until Wednesday, when his parents, now peep this here, when his parents joined the search. During the search of the Malaki Creek Environmental Park, the couple, along with law enforcement, found a backpack and notebook belonging to Laundrie. Now, the parents. Now, mind you, the backstory is that Florida sent out all kinds of divers and search rescue teams, helicopters, you name it, tracking all the swamps in the world. But all of a sudden, the parents came out there looking for something, and we'll recap this after the story. But anyway, along with law enforcement, they found a backpack and a notebook belonging to Laundrie. Then human remains were later found near Laundrie's belongings, and on Thursday, officials confirmed the remains were linked to the 23-year-old. Okay? Now, the FBI Denver confirmed in a release that dental records matched those of Brian, adding that they were grateful for the work of every agent involved in the search. Looks like the only agents that did anything was Chris and Roberta. Anyway, the Carlton Reservation and nearby areas became essential focal point for the search for Brian, and is the last place he believed to have gone. All right, his parents told police that he embarked on a camping trip at the reservation the days before he reported him missing. Now, why that area was never searched when they used thousands of search tactics to find this gentleman, I will never know. Okay? Despite repeated searches of the area, nothing was found until Bryant's parents headed to the area, sparking increasing suspicion of their potential involvement. Oh, no shit. How long did it take y'all to figure that out? However, officials noted that the area had been underwater until recently, accounting for why nothing was found in the search. Okay, blame it on the water. Like Milli Vanilli, blame it on the rain. Okay, Bryant, Chris, and Roberta, silent during the ordeal, also fueled suspicion about the family. But Stephen Robato, who the family attorney, said that they were only acting under his orders, and he told CNN he instructed them not to speak to authorities, allowing him to act out situations where the parents had no involvement. They were just looking for their son and just got lucky. Yada, yada, yada. So, like I said, you're welcome to give us a call on this 914-803-4306. If you're already online, press 1. Get into the queue. I really would like to hear people's opinions of this particular case on how the parents knew where he was, and all of a sudden he's dead out of nowhere. The parents knew exactly where he was. All the man hours and all the money that was wasted trying to find him, all the time put in front of him. And what do people think? Redwine, what do you think about that?
It sounds awfully fishy. You know, the lawyer for the parents is saying that for people to think that the parents were involved or planted or did evidence or something, he's using Mike Tyson's word, saying it's ludicrous. And I'm like, you know, like you said, for all of those people that were out there combing through that area, looking for anything that they could find, finding nothing, and now you find a backpack and you find a notebook and you find human remains. And they're saying, oh, well, it was underwater, and as the water receded, then it became visible. But you had divers out there, too, like you mentioned. It just seems like something is just not adding up. How in the world can all of those things now be found when the parents decide they want to go out and take a look? I mean, they're not trained like these people that were out there doing these searches, but yet the parents can find stuff. And was the notebook wet? They said that it was all this stuff under the water, and then when the water receded, then they could see stuff. Well, what condition was the notebook? How do you know it was his? It should have been really water damaged. So this stuff is not adding up. That's all I'm saying.
Not at all.
It just sounds like they went straight to the body. Like, okay, we know where it is. Here it is. You know, like somebody put it there and say, oh, here it is. You know, people are searching in certain areas, and then all of a sudden you find something like, okay, we just searched that area. You know, kind of the same incident happened here in D.C. I forgot the woman's name, but the one they found in the woods. They had checked Rockview Park all through the woods, and all of a sudden, here she is. Some jogger finds her like a week later. Come on now. So, yeah, I think you're right. Something's fishy. It just not adding up. And I really hope that they really do a thorough investigation and see the parents for who they really are, especially the sister, because the sister was talking a lot. She acted as if she didn't know what was going on, but I think she knew a little more than what she was talking about. So, like you said, people enjoyed the conversation. We like to hear everybody else's views. 914-803-4306, and you know, see how people feel about it, because you don't want to say black and white, but I mean, hey, you know, if the shoe was on the other foot, it'd be totally different. So that's my opinion.
No doubt.
So
yeah.
And in my opinion, what is the difference between remains and finding an actual body? When you say remains, I mean, didn't you say dental records? Did he just find his teeth? I mean, he could have took his dental work out and put it in the dirt and still been on the run. I mean, and did you find a finger, a hand? So what was it, like some human remains and his teeth? I mean, you could take his teeth out and put his teeth in the dirt. I mean, like I said, the speculation goes on and on and on. And this is, and only in Florida, you know what I mean? Isn't it amazing how Florida is always the state that gives you the most hypocritical crap. Whew, man, I would never.
Wow.
You can give me a free big-ass house in Florida, I'll say pass. I'll pass every time. Between stand your ground laws and all the crap they got going on there.
Yeah.
No.
They got a lot.
It's too wild.
Keep my ass down in Florida.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll leave that alone. But like I said, welcome to call us at 914-803-4306. If you're already on the line, just press 1. Put you in the queue and speak your mind about that situation with that.
All right.
Okay.
Anyway.
Over to you, Ketel. What's happening?
Let me see. Privacy complicates jury selection on this Ahmaud Arbery's death. Interesting. This is in Brunswick, Georgia. Would-be jurors in the murder trial of the 3 men charged with killing the 25-year-old Arbery expressed concerns, really, this week about remaining anonymous should they be selected to serve. Wow. 1,000 of the 62,000 registered voters in Glenn County received jury summons. The judge hopes to narrow the jury pool to a smaller group of 64 and eventually to 16 people, 12 jurors, 4 alternates. Complicating that process is the fact that multiple prospective jurors have told the court they know Arbery. Yeah, okay. The defendants, potential witnesses, and other prospective jurors, and some of the local figures involved in the case. So it goes on to say, under questioning by the lawyers for the defendants, another prospective juror expressed their similar concerns. He said any verdict, guilty or innocent, is going to be unpopular with some people. So maybe I even feel unsafe. I don't even know. So it just sounds like people in this county, they're just scared. Maybe they should have moved this particular case to another county.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, and I've never heard them. I guess there's been cases where they don't say who the jurors are. You know, you find out later on who they are. Not at that particular time that they're doing the case. So maybe they can remain anonymous then. But you know how the media is. They're going to find out who was on that jury anyway, in some way. So, but part of the problem. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say the judge has barred the media from releasing identifying information about jurors, and repeatedly assured jurors the court is working to maintain their anonymity. So we'll see what happens. But
well, part of the problem is that it's a relatively small town, and so many of them all know each other, or they know that one of the 3 people that shot him and killed him, or they know Arbery or his mom.
In the beginning,
it's too much familiarity.
In the beginning of the case, when this first happened, these people weren't even arrested for at least 30 days, only because the prosecutor office, everybody in City Hall knew these 3 guys. So nobody wanted to touch the arresting them. It was almost like Trayvon Martin's situation where nobody wanted to come near it. People had to
keep recusing
themselves from the case based on knowing people, and that's the biggest problem with a small town situation. And this town has it, and it's so sad because I don't know. I feel like if somebody's accused of something, you kind of want to release that friendship you got for a minute for somebody and let the court play itself out. But some of these people just hold on to it forever. They're like, oh, well, that's my friend, so I don't care what you say.
Yeah, but these are like their fishing buddies, or they go to church with this person, or, I go to this and hang out with them, and we go boating together.
I don't think sports or fish had anything to do with it. They just want to be on the right side of white. That's just my opinion.
Well, that's part of the fear. They're saying, like, I don't want to be on this jury because whether we say guilty or innocent,
I ain't trying to put away.
We still got to live with that.
Well, they ain't trying to put away a white guy in reference to a dead black man because they feel like he's dead. He's dead. You'd be surprised to think about it.
But that's what I'm saying. They still got to live in this small town when it's all said and done. And like you said, Ketel, once the word gets out, who the jurors
they're gonna be tainted.
Yeah, it could be some leverage they're trying to do. But check this out: the Brunswick County is predominantly black, but it sits in the overwhelming white Glenn County. So how is he going to be judged by his? Well, I guess he's judged by their peers. They're white, so
but they'll find some white folks if they gotta sober them up from a shelter.
If they gotta ship them in, huh? They'll get them in.
It's not funny at all.
Boy. Yeah.
No, I don't mean to laugh at that. I'm just saying they'll do what they have to do to get that jury together.
God bless that man's soul and God bless his family.
All his mother wants is justice.
Yeah.
That's all. Just, it is what it is. So.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch this closely myself. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, we all will be watching. Well, speaking of justice, for those who probably saw something last week about a situation in Philadelphia where a woman was allegedly raped on a train and people took out their phones and recorded it. Well, that case is now kind of evolved into something else. So now, of course, it drew nationwide attention and all that, and people were really upset because people said, why would you take out your phone instead of intervening? So now police even went so far as to say that, of course, people were recording it, as I said. So now the district attorney, who's on the case, is saying that's not what happened. Now, I'm thinking, were you on the train? But that's what the district attorney says. So at a press conference yesterday, Delaware County District Attorney Jack Stolzmeyer said that it's not true that people sat on the train and watched this whole thing go down and video it for their own gratification. He said that witnesses were on the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority, that if anybody who was on that train, that they should come forward and share information about what they saw. He said you will not be prosecuted, so please come forward, especially if you have video on your phone. Now, the district attorney paints a picture saying that it was a very sparsely crowded train with passengers getting on and off throughout the whole alleged rape situation. And he says that people were getting on and off the train may not have realized at any given point that there was a rape in progress. Now, I'm thinking, okay, even if people are getting on and off, you had to see something if that's what was going on. Now, this district attorney acknowledged that there were two people who believe that they filmed part of it, and he has that video. But the suspect is a guy who's 35 years old, Fiston, his last name is Ngoy, I don't know how to pronounce it, Ngoy, allegedly harassed the woman, groped her, and eventually raped her through more than 24 train stops. Now, that's a lengthy time to be carrying on like that on a train, and nobody's seeing it or saying anything or intervening. This whole thing just reeks of, once again, something ain't right. So, the district attorney is trying to say, well, it wasn't quite the way people painted it, but if you saw something, if you got video on your phone, please come forward. You will not be prosecuted because you saw it and did nothing. That's what he means. You won't be prosecuted for that. So police are saying that they believe that nobody called authorities, and they're investigating whether any of the witnesses actually recorded anything. And, of course, they're saying that it's distressing. They're very sad about the whole thing, that people potentially held up their phones and recorded it instead of even saying something. Now, according to the way this was reported, nobody even said, hey, stop. They just watched it, and then when their stop came up, got off the train. And in some cases, recorded it and got off the train. And so they're saying there's a lot of people. They should have intervened. Somebody should have done something, and that was the superintendent, Timothy Bernhardt, of the Upper Darby Police Department, who made that statement. He said this is very troubling. Now, I just can't imagine for 24 stops, that's 24 train stops, that this was going on. And to think that nobody intervened? People need to, what's that saying about if you see something, say something? I can understand if you didn't want to walk over there and maybe, felt like I don't want to get involved. But at least when you get off the train, go tell the people at the station that, hey, I think this man is raping this woman or something crazy is happening on that train, that particular car. Report it. Say something.
Yeah.
I just don't
they
understand.
They don't have an emergency button or something? I mean, trains have emergency buttons or something, some kind of call thing. Maybe you can call up front to the driver, something. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
From what I heard, having a little Philadelphia connection, the incident started at what's called the 69th Street Terminal, which is the end of the line. And after that, after it leaves 69th Street, it goes through West Philly down in the numbers. The next stop is 63rd, 60th, 52nd, 46th. Then it goes underground at 40th, 30th, then 15th Street. And it's called the L, and it moves very fast. So that's why I said it made 9 stops while the rape was still going on. And if nobody reported, and there's no conductors like Amtrak or anything like that on the train. All there is the motorman, basically. One person really controlling the doors. I mean, the motorman looks out on the platform. He controls the train and controls the doors. And that's all involved because the train's only in the station for a couple of seconds in Philly. The L is called the L, which means it's elevated from the ground. It's up in the air.
So you're saying it was under the tunnel for a certain amount of time?
It didn't go under the tunnel until it got to 46th Street. Once it gets to 46th Street, then it goes underground. The first stop underground is 40th Street, then 30th, and then 15th, which is downtown. So it was like 6 stops. How long do you think that it might be underground, in the dark, maybe? About
2 minutes, 3 minutes.
It goes from 30th to 15th in about maybe 6 minutes. So, but it started at 69th Street. So it went from 69th all the way to 15th Street, and which is 12 stops in between. But those stops only take on the average about 15 minutes. So, but people were just filming, and nobody called the cops. And if the engineer doesn't know, the train is just moving. And a lot of people in a certain generation were raised on posting, filming and posting. That's what they do. And it's so sad that they rather say, look at this, or let's pull this up. And I'm not picking on people of another generation, but it's interesting. Maybe I am picking on them. They really need to be more responsible.
I'm curious as to, did she ever scream?
I don't know the particulars.
Did she make any sound
I don't know the particulars.
to alert anyone else?
Only the video knows for sure.
Problem?
Only video knows for sure. I'm sure she was horrified. Only video knows for sure. And it's just a sad situation. I hope the person is in hell. And the people that videoed it, they need to get a lesson from that to know that it could have been your mother, your sister, or your auntie, or your grandmother. And
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, I'm putting that guy in the boy on the kiss it list.
Yeah. But you know what? Let me. Y'all want to continue on? Want to take a break? What do you want to do? Y'all got me. You got me fired up. Man, I'm so fired up on these stories. I'm ready to check my blood sugar. Anyway,
don't do that.
Anyway, we want to go straight to the head.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, you can take a break after I do this.
All right, go for it.
I was just pre-reading this story here, and this is blowing my mind also. This is a Georgia high school, and I always tell people when they move to the South, moving to the South is cool. Me, myself, I wouldn't put my big toe past D.C. I'm just a northern guy, and northern is what I do, and I can't go past D.C. with my big toe. And I tell people who live in Atlanta, and they say, hot Atlanta. It's still the South, okay? And you take your ass out of Atlanta where it's mostly black and you turn the corner, you could be in an all-white Georgia town. And it's a whole different situation, which this is right here. This is a Georgia high school that only punished black students after a Confederate flag protesting. Okay? Now, peep this here. The administrators at, it's called COSA, COSA, maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong, COOSA. High School in Rome, Georgia. Now, remember two things. Remember COSA High School and remember Rome, Georgia. Keep your kids away from this damn school. Anyway, they've come under fire after suspending students for protesting against fellow classmates who were caught on camera waving a Confederate flag. Now, they suspended the black and white students that were complaining about all white students that was waving Confederate flags. This is a high school now, not college.
Wow.
So don't take it too deep. According to CBS 46, black, white, and Latino students allegedly planned a protest after school. Administrators failed to discipline the flag wavers for displaying displaying a Confederate flag up and down the school campus. Nobody said anything about that. Okay? Now, the Floyd County school administrators prohibited the students that was going to protest after hearing of their plan. Now, how does somebody hear of the black, white, and Latino protesters unless there's a plan? Okay? There's always a narc. There's always a person in the ranks that's telling the rank and file, which is crazy as hell. Now, all of a sudden, they planned this trip, and the school went as far as saying an announcement over the loudspeaker saying anybody that goes out and protests this particular situation of the alleged waving of the flag will be prosecuted. Okay? So the kids were up in arms saying they won't even let us wear Black Lives Matter T-shirts. And some of the gay students said they won't even let us wear no LGBTQ shirts or wave anything that has to do with Pride Week. Yeah. They told us to stand down and don't even make a statement about anything. So the whole situation just went to a big situation. Now, this lady named Lillian Huckabee, she was also protesting outside the school on that situation. They did nothing to her, and she went up on the people's defense of the other ones that wanted to protest for them waving flags, saying they did nothing to me because I'm white. And they suspended the black girls and guys, but didn't suspend me because I'm a white girl.
And she was out there with them.
But they only arrested the black people.
That ain't right.
And I tell you what, my opinion on this here is that this is a high school. Your parents need to get your ass out of that school. You know, the one thing that we as black people need to stop doing is stop acting like we're making stuff better for our children by being somewhere that our children don't need to be. Okay? If you say, oh, my kid's in a private school, But the private school got all kind of BS rules that is so contradictory on your adult belief. And man, kids got feelings that are unbelievable. Kids are the most sensitive creatures on the planet. I mean as old as 3 years old. Children are just their mental aspect is just unbelievable. You could tell them something and they can misinterpret it because you said it the wrong way. And they'll pass it on to somebody else and say, my daddy said this, when daddy didn't even mean it that way, but the child is so intellectually gifted that that's how they took it. And this is 3 fucking years old. So what do you think somebody 16 and 17 and 14 and 15 is going through? When they're getting all these mixed vibes where they're seeing you letting them do it but not letting us do it, but then the racist adults in the school system are trying to convince 14 and 15 and 16-year-old children that this is right when the kids are saying, I'm clouded as hell because I really don't understand.
Yeah, they're asking, how can this be?
Why is this? When the child says why 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, and the white counterparts in the school system are saying, well, it's because, I'm like, bitch, shut up. Okay, shut up, because you're talking to our young future, whether they're black, white, or Latino, that's on the right side of right, and you're trying to keep the traditional of your Donald Trump, whatever it is you trying to hold on to. Oh, it is deep. It is deep. And all I say is that to the parents of these high school students, please get your kids out of this school.
I hear you.
Please get your kids out of this school.
It's some wild stuff going on.
Take their asses to Atlanta and put them in the most hood. Put them in a hood school. Shit, I don't care.
Put them where they won't be disrespected.
I don't give a fuck. They're shooting. I'd rather take some gunshots and take the racial bullshit. Well, all right. I knew that was a stretch.
Okay. I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me get to the next hit and quit it. A black man receives $1 million donation for his Kansas City nonprofit for disabled men and women. Kudos. When it seems like the news these days is filled with talk of crime, corruption, like we just said, politics, it's always nice to hear a motivational story. So Wesley Hamilton, after a brief altercation with a stranger outside of an apartment complex, was shot in the abdomen, leaving him paralyzed from his waist down. This happened January 2012. It was a day that would forever change his life, but in time, it made him a better man and an inspiration to so many others. So Hamilton found Disabled But Not Really in 2017, a nonprofit that provides physical training, nutritional coaching, and the tools to help disabled men and women build confidence and not be denied by their limitations. Wow. So according to Kansas City Star, Hamilton was given $1 million donation for his nonprofit doing Good Morning America on Wednesday. The $1 million donation came from the Craig H. Nielsen Foundation, largest private funder of spinal and cord injury research training. Wow, kudos to them. The audience was yelling. Hamilton was covered in confetti. They heard about you, and they've been following you, and they love your story. And this is what Good Morning America. So he was very grateful and thankful for that. That's pretty neat. Okay, $1 million. That's pretty good. So it goes on to say, after a decade after his shooting, Hamilton remains grateful about the outcome. The man who tried to take my life gave me life. Living my purpose, and everybody is seeing it. So follow your dreams despite the circumstances that happen to you, he says. Kudos to him. All right.
All right.
Congrats. So,
that's a good thing.
Yay. Yeah. Finally, something good in the world, right?
Yeah, for a change.
Yeah, here's some positive.
Hey, we got to give him some applause.
Yay. All right, there you go. Mm-hmm. That's what's up.
Yeah, giving back is just so natural, you know.
Yeah.
For some people, others they don't know.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Some people only know how to take.
Because you can't take nothing with you. So.
Well, I got one last one for you. Back to the bull crap. Papa was talking about how these schools, Poppa DD said these schools off the chain. I got another one for you. This one is out west in Utah. The Utah School District federal investigation has found that the Utah school districts, it's not just one school, it's the school district in Utah, has found serious and widespread racial harassment of Black and Asian American students and a persistent failure by school officials to respond. And this is the Justice Department that's looking into this. Now, the investigation concluded that the Davis School District in Farmington, Utah, failed to address pervasive and racist harassment of students of color, disciplined Black students more harshly than they disciplined white students for comparable behavior, and they denied Black students' requests to form student groups while they allowed the white students to do whatever they wanted to do, basically. It's like, y'all want to have a club? Okay, go ahead. But then the Black kids say, we want to form a club. They were like, no, your request is denied. So this is the kind of stuff that they were doing. Black students were called nigger. They were referred to as monkeys. They were told their skin looks like feces. And the investigation found that the district officials were deliberately indifferent to a racially hostile climate. They said that they uncovered slurs aimed at the Asian American students that were called yellow, squinty-eyed. They were told, go back to China. And these are Asian American students who've never even lived in China. Same as they tell Black people, go back to Africa. Anyway, they said sometimes the offensive behavior was coming from the daggone staff. So this is not just kids acting a fool toward other kids. The staff is calling them out of their name, porch monkey and all of this stuff, all kind of stuff. So, and the biggest problem is that aside from all that, when the students are complaining and reporting that other students or other administrators are doing all these things, they get told stuff like, "You're just being too sensitive," and they told, the parents' complaints were routinely ignored. Students' complaints were dismissed. The offended students, like I said, were told not to be so sensitive. They also told them that your peers are not trying to be racist. Even though they're telling you that you're my slave and go pick some cotton, they're telling them, oh, they're not trying to be racist. You're just being too sensitive. And then when they reported the things that these students, the white students, were saying to them, the administrators told them, you need to watch your language. Because they're just repeating to them what they were called. And the teachers and administrators are telling them, you need to watch your language. And like I said, they were routinely disciplined more harshly than the white students. And come to find out, when they looked at the statistics, they were being suspended at a rate higher than the white students, even though they are the minority in the school district.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is so typical of the kind of stuff that goes on. Now, the black and Asian students, Asian American students, represent like 1% of the 73,000 students in that district. 1%. How in the world are they being suspended more often, going through all this stuff at higher numbers? It's like the incarceration numbers. How are people of color of the minority in this country, yet we are the majority in jails? These schools are off the chain. And like I said, this is out in Utah.
Yeah.
So this ain't even in the South. This is out west. And these kids are having to deal with this. Like you said, these kids don't need this. How are they supposed to come back from this kind of stuff? You've been in school some of them said they've been dealing with this stuff since kindergarten.
Right.
This is insanity.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to jump on that in a minute here on that what's popping segment. But you want to take a CC break?
Yeah. Let's take a CC and let's regroup. I'll give y'all a cocktail when we come back. How about that?
It's refresh your drinks.
Right.
What have you?
We'll do that. We'll take a quick break, and then we're coming back with Ketel and this week's Cocktail of the Week.
You're in tune to the Late Night Adult Pajama Party right here on Blog Talk Radio. This is a production of DC Homegrown Entertainment. To share your opinion with the Pajama Party Crew, call us on 914-803-4306 and press 1. If you'd rather just listen in, you can still call us and listen on your phone, or you can listen online by going to our website, www.apajamaparty.com, and clicking the Listen banner in the top right corner. So join the conversation and let us know what you think about tonight's topics or whatever is on your mind. Okay, who turned the lights off? Call us now, 914-803-4306. Now back to the crew and more of the Pajama Party.
All right, welcome back to the Pajama Party. I'm your host, Poppa DD. I'm here with Ketel.
Hello.
And Redwine.
Bonsoir, darling. All right, it's time for Ketel and the Cocktail of the Week.
Well, as they say, one is enough to relieve a stress level. This is called the absolute stress. We have 1 ounce of vodka. We might need 1.5 ounces tonight. It could be the vodka of your choice, but I would say absolute vodka would be great. 1 ounce of dark rum, 1 ounce of peach schnapps, 1 ounce of orange juice, and 1 ounce of cranberry juice. All right. So in a cocktail shaker, combine vodka, rum, peach liqueur, orange juice, and cranberry juice. We're going to shake it real good. We're going to pour it over ice in a tall glass and garnish with a slice of orange and a cherry on top. And that's called the absolute stress. We need one tonight. I might need 2 of those.
All right.
I'm sorry, say that name again, the absolute what?
absolute stress. Just like Absolute Vodka, Absolute Stress. That's what it's called.
Absolute Stress.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
I think I'm scared of that one. I don't know. I don't know
Why?
if I
Because
want
the
a glass
contents
of
of it?
stress. I'm just thinking of that name. I don't know if I want to drink a glass of stress.
Oh, look, we'll turn around. Stress Absolute. How about that?
Okay, yeah, that does
Absolute.
sound a
How
little
about
better.
that?
Okay, that works.
Okay.
All right, thank you,
All
Ketel,
right.
for the cocktail of the week, and we'll get that up on the website over the weekend so you can check it out and try it out. You just might like it. All right, we're going to kick it over to Poppa DD for What's Poppin'. He's chomping at the bit. All right, Poppa DD, what's poppin'?
And I tell you what, you know, these stories that we listen to, I don't know whether you have to be a person of a certain age to really understand everything that's really going on today. And it's just so interesting that everything that's going on today is only a repercussion of what happened 40 years ago. You know, when our parents first came back from World War II and weren't allowed to use their GI Bills for what it needed to be used for, and that's housing wherever they wanted housing because they were veterans. But being the fact the racial aspects was in effect, they had to move to the city while white folks moved out to the suburbs. And now white folks are still in the suburbs and been in the suburbs for 40 years. Okay? Been there for 40 years. So they've been prone to the suburbs. And the suburbs, in anybody's opinion, is based on, you know, HOAs, you know, what does that mean?
The Homeowners Association.
Homeowners Association, which tells everybody how to cut your grass, how to set up your plants on the steps, how to do this, how to do that, how to do this, how to do that. And they keep different, you know, cul-de-sacs and different areas in perspective that they are in control of. But they got some particular reason over the last 20, 25 years that black folks aren't going to contend with those rules. So let's just keep those Negroes in the city and in the ghetto where they belong. Okay? They don't belong where we are. And if they happen to make a little money and come to where we are, we're going to watch them like a hawk. If their kids come in our school, we're going to notice them because our kids are white and those kids are brown. And the teachers is in on it and everybody's in on it because nobody wants how and where they've been living for the last 30, 40 years to be disrupted. They feel that, and make it so bad now that it's 2021, the people that's living in the suburbs now are not the original people that came from World War II because my father was in World War II. God bless his soul. He was born in 1924. So let's do the math. 4 from 1. Okay? That's how you know how old somebody is. This year ends with a 1 and a 4. So, you know, what's the end result of my pop's age? If you were born in 1924. Come on, math teacher.
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
Oh.
How much is 4 from 11?
7.
There you go. My pop would have been 97 years old on March 31st. Mm-hmm. He would have been a full 97 years old. So the people that got these white folks in the suburbs are 97 years old, and they're dead, half of them, because my father's dead. So they're dead. So what's left now is the children and the children of the children. And the children of the children are 30, 35 years old. So they live in the suburbs that their parents first got after World War II. And that's why the suburbs are so ingrained with whiteness. And that's why they feel like blackness is just going to mess up with. It's almost like a pretty golf course that you don't want black folks to come to the golf course because, you know, they think they might mess it up. Or a nice, let's say, a tennis resort. where people are playing tennis and all the courts are nice and manicured and all that. But what makes you think we can't come and play tennis and clean up after before we leave? Or what makes you think we can't play golf and clean up after we leave? Or anything. You know, I mean, especially golf courses. Oh, my goodness. Tiger Woods was one of the few people of color that was able to get into the golf game and change the game when he got there. The same with Arthur Ashe, and the same with Venus and Serena on the tennis circuit. Changed it. But Serena and Venus didn't come there with no ghetto flavor and mess things up. They kept it in perspective.
Right.
Tiger Woods kept it in perspective. You know? So all I'm saying is that the mental aspect of the ignorance that's holding down what they feel, but I have no desire to move to the suburbs. Don't get it twisted. I'm content where I'm at. But what a lot of people in the suburbs need to understand is you need to have a level of contentness where you are and know that if somebody chooses to live there based on their income or their particular lucrativeness, that's their right. It is not for you to deny or make it uncomfortable for them. I don't care what's involved, politics or whatever. They could possibly be doing better than you, which they probably are, because you're living in a house that your grandparents paid $8,000 for that's now worth $1.5 million, but your grandparents paid $5,000 for it. So your ass just got lucky. Isn't that deep? So they're trying to maintain their luckiness because they know that most of the people in their 30s and 40s live in the suburbs now are living in a fucking $500,000 house that their people passed on to them because they're dead now, like I said, that's worth $500,000 that their grandfather only paid $5,000 for. So that's why they want to maintain their shit, because they've been living off of borrowed time and bullshit for 40 years. I'm out.
Okay, now.
And drop the mic.
Yeah.
Watch out, man.
Drop that joke.
Drop
From the rooftop.
Drop the mic and picked up the brown liquor.
Aubrey's there, honey.
Let me stir my ice.
I got 1, 2, 3. I got 7 ice cubes, honey.
Okay. All right. Y'all want to lighten it up?
Yeah.
Lighten it up?
Lighten it up.
Lighten it up. Let's go to the weird news. Oh, we got some weird ones for you tonight.
Oh, y'all had to give me the one in North Kakalaki. I see how y'all work. Okay.
Well, you know, we know you're a Southerner.
Look, never heard of Bunn, North Carolina. Bunn. Never heard of it, but anyway.
Okay.
A North Carolina town finds itself under siege by buzzards, and nothing the locals to do to scare them off seems to work. The buzzards have chosen the town of Bunn, Bunn, as a meeting place for the past year, and they're congregating at every available location. The News and Observer of Raleigh reported on Wednesday there were 28 buzzards perched on a cellular tower and another 21 at the high school across the street. They worse than the birds. Allie Leggett said she counted 58 buzzards in her yard, on the roof, along the fence, and atop the garage at one point. She said the unwelcome visitors would perch on her chimney and peck at the bricks, pulling them down. Other locals say the buzzards ate the roof vents off of a restaurant in the town about 30 miles northeast of Raleigh. So no one in Bunn seems to know why the scavengers have taken a shine to their town. But various attempts to evict have failed. So in December, Bunn High School fired a propane cannon day and night. That it worked for a while. This is what the police chief said, but the birds returned. The school also hung vulture effigies around its rooftop to deter the birds from the gathering. That didn't keep them away either. So commonly called buzzards, the birds are black or turkey vultures, federal and state law outlaws killing, hurting, or harassing them, according to the NC Wildlife Resource Commission. So I guess they can't, kill them, per se. So they can't, do but so much.
Yeah, it must be something dead in that town that they keep coming through like that.
Maybe.
That's all I'm saying.
Look, I guess they'll find some. They might find some dead bodies later. I don't know. I hope not. I don't know what's going on.
I'm just saying, vultures hang around. I mean, those are, what do you call those things? Scavengers. They like dead, rotten stuff. Anyway, that's what they do. Okay. But anyway, my weird news is out of Hong Kong. Travel-starved, sleep-deprived residents might like this new Hong Kong bus tour. They are offering a 47-mile, 5-hour ride on a regular double-decker bus around the territory, and it's meant to appeal to people that are easily lulled asleep by long rides. It was inspired by the tendency of tired commuters to fall asleep on public transit. So it says they were brainstorming on new bus tours and saw a social media post from a friend that said he was stressed out by work and he couldn't sleep at night, and the marketing manager came up with this idea of organizing a bus tour just for people to sleep. And that's what they did, and they sold that thing out. Now, how crazy is that? So, because the guy was saying, but whenever he gets on a bus, he sleeps so well. So they decided to put this together. They're selling tickets between $13 to $51 per person, depending on whether you choose seats on the upper or the lower deck. And they give you a goodie bag that includes an eye mask and some earplugs so you can really get your sleep on. And they call it the Sleeping Bus Tour. And they say they started it last Saturday, sold out completely. And some passengers came prepared, bringing their own blankets. They brought their slippers. Other people showed up with travel pillows. One person said he's been suffering from insomnia, and he said, I'm here trying to get some sleep. And the bus actually makes stops like a regular tour bus at scenic places so that if you're still awake, you can get a few pictures. But if you just want to sleep, you can get your sleep on. I mean, I don't even know what to say.
I've heard of everything. Now, where is this again?
This is in Hong Kong.
Oh, God. I'll make sure I don't go there. Do that stupid shit.
I mean, it's a 5-hour bus trip. So you can sleep.
Crazy. Wow.
That's a wild stuff.
Okay, so I'm called Weird News.
Yeah. That's some weird stuff. All right, what you got, Poppa DD?
All right, this is in San Francisco. More than 90 snakes was found under a North California home. Al Wolf, he is used to cleaning out 1 or 2 snakes from underneath a house. But recently he was called by a woman who had seen rattlesnakes crawling underneath her North California home and was surprised to find more than 90 rattlesnakes.
Good God.
Already ready to hibernate, because of the weather change and everything. So Wolf is director of the Sonoma County Reptile Rescue. Said that he crawled underneath the mountainside home in Santa Rosa and found a rattlesnake right away. Then another and another. He got out from under the house and grabbed 2 buckets, put on his long sleeve shirts and long gloves, and went back in. He crawled on his hands and knees and stomach and tipped over. And after a while, he tipped over like 200 small rocks to find like over 50 snakes underneath these rocks. He said, I kept finding snakes for the next almost 4 hours.
That's disgusting.
I thought, oh, good, it's a worthwhile crawl, because he gets paid per snake. So, but I was happy to get out because it was not nice. You see, you run into he said, I usually run into spider webs and dirt and a bunch of smelly crap, but this was just like snakes everywhere. Okay, but the work paid off. He used a 24-inch snake pole to remove 22 adult rattlesnakes and 59 babies okay?
Good
On the first visit home in the Mayacaca Mountains on October 2nd. He returned another 2 times since and collected 11 more snakes. He also found a dead cat and a dead possum.
What the heck?
All the snakes were northern Pacific rattlesnakes, and the only venomous snakes found in North California, he said. Wolf also said that he's been rescuing snakes for 32 years, has been bitten about 13 times, and he responded to calls about snakes under homes in like 17 counties in the San Francisco County area. And he's seen dozens of them in one place in the wild and underneath homes and all kind of places. He said he released the rattlesnakes in the wild after he gets done with the snakes when he finds. He also sells snakes to people that want to leave them on their property for pest control.
Wow.
So it is so interesting how what people do with snakes for pest control, put them back in the wild, and damn.
That's a wild job to have.
And he said he's going to go back there and keep checking because the den that he was in, he found like 15 female snakes, so he knows he's bound to find more babies in that little hole in that house. So I'm just trying to figure out the woman that lives in the house, what the hell is she thinking?
Man, I would have been so out of that.
How do you sleep at night?
That's what I'm saying.
Knowing you got 20 rattlesnakes under your house. How do you sleep?
Maybe she breeding them. She must be breeding them or something.
No, she called to get rid of them. She ain't breeding shit.
Oh, wow.
She's just weird as hell.
I'm telling you, I'd have been up out of that joint.
She just weird as hell. She ain't breeding. She wish she could breed them. But
as soon as I heard that little rattle sound like that, I would have been like, woo, bye-bye.
The one breeding them is the one catching them because he's selling them to other people and doing other things with them, and he making money. She's just terrified up in there. Damn.
And you got to have heart to crawl up under a house with snakes up under there like that.
He's a ruthless little. I'm sure he's one of them little white trash.
Oh, God. Here we go. He started Papa. Oh, boy.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with me. And I'm just saying, I'm going to talk about the NFL tonight. So I'm going to take this quick break, and we'll be back.
Living just enough for the city.
Okay, but why are we doing Stevie Wonder? I thought we were doing Pajama Party.
Well, I was talking about my little one of my segments of Living for the City.
Join the party.
Now you ride me.
That's every Friday night at 9. Pajama Party. No clothes allowed.
Ketel and Redwine stepping on my parade. I had the mic first. And they're coming in just trying to,
It's my turn.
She's going to sing.
What number to call?
Yes, call us at 914
803
4306
and press 1.
And press 1 to be put into the queue. And say what you have to say. You can read off what we're talking about. Come up with a new subject of your own. We're easy. We're liberal. We're easy. Eastern time. We're here 9 p.m. Friday nights. That's 6 o'clock on the West Coast. And maybe 7 o'clock in the mountains or in the
7 in the mountains.
Around Michigan and New Orleans and all that. We're like an hour back.
Yeah,
but 9 o'clock on the East Coast.
9:15 CP time.
CP time 9:15.
Don't be late when you listen to us. It is 9 o'clock on the dot.
That's right. Every Friday night.
We'll see you there.
Goodbye.
All right, welcome back to the Pajama Party. One here with Poppa DD. I'm here with Ketel.
Hello.
And Redwine.
Bonsoir, darling.
All right, let's Redwine, her segment called I'm Just Saying. Take it away, Redwine.
Merci beaucoup, Poppa DD. Tonight, I'm just saying, I'm going to talk about the NFL. So my topic tonight is That's Foul. Now, we know how the National Football League has had scandal after scandal, but now I think that NFL acronym instead of National Football League should stand for the National Foul League. It is hard to stomach how they have treated black players with brain injuries. Now, of course, this is nothing new. We saw, I can't remember the name of the movie, that Will Smith played the doctor from Africa who exposed the whole thing about the brain injuries. And I, at least, was under the impression that the NFL was on top of that and they were going to do things to make it better. They were supposed to be, well, at least I think they have gotten new helmets or new design helmets that's supposed to help lessen the impact of all of that. So it's like, okay, cool, you did that. But what about this whole race norming practice that you've been exposed for carrying on? And it's been going on for a while. But now that you've been busted for it, NFL, now you're trying to do the right thing. I'm just saying, the NFL is foul for that. So what they were doing was they were lowering the starting score for the black players, and this is crazy, because they assumed that black men had, or probably just black people, but in this case black men, they assumed that black men had a lower cognitive function than white men. So basically you're trying to say that your assumption, NFL, is that black men are not as smart as white men. So when you go to test their brain functionality, you're using a lower number to start with so that when the test score comes in, whatever that number is, it doesn't seem as bad or as high because you started at a lower threshold than the way you were testing the white players. What kind of crack-a-lack of bull crap is that? How do you first of all make the assumption that black men have a lower brain cognitive function than white people simply because of the color of their skin? You don't have anything to go on, period. But that was the assumption made, so that's how they were running these tests to check for things like dementia or brain damage, etc. You lower the starting scale so that, for example, if the number that says, okay, you definitely have some brain damage and qualify for the money that you should get, if that number, say, is supposed to be 10 or above, if you start the black men at 0 for the test and their number only comes up at 8, then they don't qualify. But if you start the white people at 5 and their test comes out at 15, oh, then they qualify. This is some bull crap. But that's the kind of stuff that the NFL was doing until it all came out. So I'm just saying, the NFL is foul for that. This is some Jim Crow bull crap. I'm trying not to get outside of myself because they're going to make me cuss, and I'm not trying to do that. But as a result of the way they were running these tests, many of the retired black players did not qualify for the compensation settlement that was awarded that they should have gotten. So now these players are having to sue again and try to get their fair share of this settlement. Now, there was $1 billion, I believe it was $1 billion, it was more than $1 million, it was $1 billion settlement that was supposed to go to these retired players, but only if they qualified. So when they ran these tests, like I said, if you start them at a lower scale, then the numbers don't come up where they qualify, so they're not getting their share. And they were supposed to be getting somewhere around like $500,000 if it was determined that football was the cause of their brain injury. So this is the kind of stuff that the NFL did. So, like I said, NFL is foul for that, and they call it race norming. I don't know what they mean by norming. I guess they think somehow that normalizes the differences between the races. And all of this got exposed after two players, one of which is from the Pittsburgh Steelers, Najee Davenport and Kevin Henry, filed a civil rights lawsuit last year. Now, they tried to keep it all in a sealed hearing, but stuff came out. And then you start to realize, like, NFL, as long as these black men were out here sacrificing their body, sacrificing their mind, their brain for your sport, even though they did get paid but the money that they were paid while they were playing cannot compensate for the loss of your brain. How many players took their own lives because they were messed up in the head? You can't give anybody money to bring back somebody from the dead. Those family members will never recover the loss of those people. And some of that could have been avoided if they had been tested fairly and properly and gotten the compensation that they were due to receive. So the NFL, you can kiss my grits on the way you all treated these black men that are making all this money for you. I don't give a dag on how many millions of dollars they get on their contract, because as soon as they get injured, that money dries up quick. So don't even talk about, oh, we pay them well. Yeah, you pay them well as long as they're making money for you, like some kind of modern-day slave owner. I'm so tired of this bull crap. I hope that this lawsuit gets these brothers the money that they're supposed to get. Now that this race norming thing has been exposed, they're going to have to go back, and the ones that want to be retested without this bull crap race norming, hopefully now they'll be able to get a fair brain test to determine if they are due to get the money that they should rightfully be able to get to compensate for the brain damage that they got while playing for the National Foul League. I'm just saying, this is Redwine, and NFL needs to call a foul in their own damn self for the way they have acted in this situation. And I'm pissed. As much as I like watching football, they have pissed me off with this. That's all I'm saying.
Ooh-wee. That was a good one, Red.
They shouldn't have been allowed to do that. But see, that's what happens when you get a bunch of white men with a bunch of money that think, oh, we're white men, we're rich, we do what we want to do. This is the result.
I was getting ready to say. Yep, I was getting ready to say. They can do what they want to do. You just said, rich white men. Hey. This is their world. We just, we trying to do.
Just a squirrel trying to, what is it? Just a squirrel trying to get a nut?
Yeah. Yeah, but you're right. NFL foul. Put them on the kissing list. Hey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're on there.
Well, that's some foul stuff. I don't even want to get
totally
Poppa DD started. I know he got his own comment, but he might stay on the soapbox too long.
Well, we're going to go to Living for the City, so you got the mic, Poppa DD.
All
What's
right,
happening
now.
in the city? I'm off my soapbox. I'll pass it to you.
That was a very good, I'm not even going to be on the soapbox. I'll be honest with you. Everything I say is real. And I'm going to be honest with you that, all I tell people in the world today is walk through the cemetery. And, when you walk through the cemetery, I think that the cemetery is the biggest common denominator in the world. Because we could talk about money and power all we want. But, the one thing that we don't talk about is cancer, diabetes, you name it, rheumatoid arthritis. I can go on with different, two things in the world that will stop you in your damn tracks is when you're in court and you get sentenced to a life sentence because of the crime you did, or a doctor telling you how long you got left to live. And when you get those two particular aspects in your life, it don't make a fuck how much money you got in the bank, how much power you got, how much pull you had, what your title was. That doesn't mean nothing. Life is just what it is. It's life. We live and we die. And anybody that experienced the death of family members or anybody that you love or know or understand or believed in or cherished with your life, understand that their death came at a time when it didn't even matter what the fuck was going on otherwise, Because the one thing death comes as a surprise. No matter how much we expecting it, it still surprises the shit out of it when it comes out. Because when somebody says, oh, did you hear such and such died? It just, it floors us. No matter who or what it is. It's amazing. So all the people that think they got all this power. Okay, how's your prostate? Well, if it's a female, power. How's your breast cancer doing? You know what I mean? Despite what power you think you have, there's another power out there, and it's called good health. So you can ride that wave of of anything that you think that you are holding on to that has some significance to your existence. But your existence can be short-lived based on a health situation. So like you were saying, Redwine, black folks been carrying the NFL forever. Mm-hmm. But they praise the fuck out of Tom Brady. No matter who the fuck did what, as long as Tom Brady, teams even get intimidated when they playing his ass because we got that slave mentality shit that we just cannot conquer this black man. And even when the referees see him being too roughed up, they will blow the fucking whistle and say, roughing the passer. Every time. Because they want to, white folks are so in search of the great white hope that it's not funny. They want anybody to lead their asses because they are the biggest followers on the planet. I mean, look at all these Republican politicians, both Congress and senators, that rely on Trump. The guy running for governor of Virginia, what's his name? I don't even know his name. He got 10,000 commercials. I don't give a fuck about his name. But he's following Trump like crazy. Why are you following Trump? You know what? And I'm going to say this here, and I'm going to get off this soapbox for real. You know what? I love Barack Obama for being the first black president. But I got news for you. I'm not trying to be Barack Obama. I'm not trying to walk in his footsteps or like white folks are with Donald Trump. I ain't trying to ride his ass or praise his ass or follow his ass. Okay, Barack, I love you. You was the first black president. You're a cool brother. You got style, grace. You, Michelle, what's their daughter's name?
Sasha and Malia.
Sasha and Malia. God bless y'all. But I ain't trying to be like y'all, I'm Poppa DD. I'm my own motherfucker. I'm a superstar of my goddamn self. And that's the problem white folks have. They're followers. They're not leaders. They need someone to lead their ass. And that's what Trump does. Donald Trump is the Pied Piper. He blows that fucking horn, and them right-wing KKK jokers follow him. Those politicians follow him. Damn. I mean, I love Martin Luther King, but damn, bruh, I got my own shit. I got my own legs, my own feet. I'm following you. I'm believing everything you're saying, and I'm with you to the core. But I'm not gonna go fucking break a window in the Capitol building because I love you that much. Who the fuck will be persuaded to do some dumb shit just because you following somebody? Man, these white folks are the biggest followers on the planet. There's no leadership in the right race. They looking for somebody to lead they ass. And when you rolling like that, shit, you could be conquered like a motherfucker quick. I'm done.
All right now. What about that? The NFL is like 70% black as far as players. 70% black.
Mm-hmm. What do they do without black people? Basketball too. Don't leave out NBA.
Yeah, well, I wasn't even on.
Don't leave out the fucking NBA. NBA is 82%.
But I think with this, it's just a matter of greed. I think that's what it is. I mean, I don't want to get off too far from the subject, but just like the black farmers, why do you have to sue somebody to get your just due money? Doesn't make a damn a bit of sense to me. These white farmers been getting this damn money for the longest. Now all of a sudden you claim reverse discrimination. Kiss my reverse discrimination ass. How about that?
Because they had the inside track, and soon somebody messing with their inside track, that's when they get pissed off because black people got hip to what they've been doing.
Right.
That's
You know how that goes. It's like as soon as we figure out how to play the game.
As soon as we figure out how to play the game, they want to change the game.
Say, oh, no, we got to change the game.
Oh, no, did you hear John is the jibber.
They're like, oh, wait a minute, we can't let them get some of this money. We got to change the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Let me file a reverse discrimination suit and put a hold to them getting that money.
It's a damn shame instead of working together, everybody get more.
Exactly. Like Ketel said, greed. One group wants it all, and they get pissed when somebody else says, can we just get a little bit?
Mm-hmm. And at the time, they didn't even get along with their fucking wife.
And it's crazy how we can't change the game because they're ahead of it. That's the sad part about it.
Exactly. So, it's their game.
Well, only because we were raised by people that just taught us to just go along with the game. But them
there you go with
been
that night shit, Papa. I'm tired of that.
Yeah, that's right. That's how we That's how we were raised. Be nice. No, not me no more. I ain't like that. Not me.
Fuck that night shit. All right.
Yeah, not me.
All right. Yeah, let's go to Hollywood.
Let's take a little break for a second. Yeah.
Take a break.
Let's take a little break. Yep.
Eat some ice.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we do. All right, we're going to take an ice break. And then we'll come back with the Hollywood wrap-up in Ketel, because I'm sure she's got some news for us this week. So we'll be back on the other side of the break.
It's Friday night, and you're listening to the Pajama Party Show Live. Tune in every Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Mountain, and 6 p.m. Pacific. We push it to the limit every week like only we can. We've got hot topics, hit it and quit it headlines, TV and movie reviews, commentaries, and the world's famous Kiss It list. And you don't want to be on the Kiss It list. So visit apajamaparty.com. Check out the cocktail of the week. Get your glass and get your laugh on with the Pajama Party Crew, doing what we do right here with you. Get up on this and push it. Push it real good.
All right, welcome back to Pajama Party. One who's Poppa DD with Ketel.
Hello.
And Redwine.
Bonsoir, darling. All right, time to go to Hollywood.
You ready, Ketel?
Yeah, I'm ready. Come on, let's bring it.
Let's go to Hollywood, Hollywood, Hollywood.
All right.
Let's take it in. What's happening out there on the West Coast?
Quite a bit. As everybody knows, what's been going on, Alec Baldwin is in the news. On Thursday, an incident involving a prop gun discharged by actor Alec Baldwin on the set of a new movie called Rust. It's a Western. Unfortunately, the cinematographer, Elena Hutchins, was she died, and injured was director Joel Sos. And I guess a lot of people are trying to figure out, well, how can a prop gun kill someone? But from the things that I've heard was that sometimes they use gunpowder in the particular prop gun, but they put some other elements in the gun. So, it's an investigation ongoing. This is not the first time. You guys remember Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son. He was only 28. He was fatally shot on a movie set called The Crow. And another actor, John Eric Hexman, he died. It was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. I don't know why he shot himself in the head, but I don't know if he was playing with the gun or what. But it's so things like this can happen, but I guess this just blew everybody on the set away. Also, they didn't have any union workers. They had brought some other workers in besides union workers on the set to finish this particular movie. So they're going to do some serious investigation on this. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. You guys remember Paul Walker, the guy that played in the Fast and Furious? He left behind a 22-year-old daughter. She got married this past weekend, and I guess her play uncle, which has been Diesel, he was at the wedding. So kudos to him. If he stops fighting with The Rock, maybe he can do something other than fighting with The Rock, But it's all good.
I was jealous.
Yeah, so that's all it was, just jealousy. But it's all good. Look, it's enough to go around. Also, Condoleezza Rice. She says the Capitol riot was wrong, but we need to move on. The former Secretary of State also made controversial comments on critical race theory as a guest on The View. She took, of course, we know Megan, she's gone. Yay! Megan McCain. Yay. She got other things she's doing, but yay. The former Secretary of State offered controversial and right-leaning views on the Capitol riot and the critical race theory as a guest on the talk show on Wednesday. Rice, we know she's a Republican, said during her appearance that the attack was wrong and that the events that transpired on June 6th caused her to cry for the first time since I was the National Security Advisor. Oh, wow. I guess she was taken back on it. Yeah.
Nobody care about her tears.
You're not a Condoleezza Rice fan? What's going on?
No, not particularly.
I wouldn't.
It was interesting because Sonny Halston, of course, she had to put her views in it, and she was sitting right beside her. She didn't take that very well. I mean, she has her own opinion. Everybody had their own opinion, but I think they were kind of cold shouldering each other, Sonny Halston and Condoleezza Rice. But it was. I mean, they're very strong, opinionated women. So I mean, what you expect. Also, this new show called Squid Game. I don't know if you guys have seen it. South Korean workers channeled Squid Game to protest their real-life economic woes. So in Seoul, frustrated South Korean workers have sought to seize an opportunity to presented by the huge popularity of the Squid Game to draw attention to their demands for better employment conditions. Hey, why not? They saying this is a popular show, and maybe we can spread some light on what's going on with our economic situation. So they said this is the most popular show ever Netflix has had. I was like, wow. Has anybody seen the Squid Game?
No.
Okay. All right. You guys are into the Squid Game. Oh, no. Yeah. I have no interest myself, so. But anyway. Also, Warner Brothers dismisses Ruby Rose's allegations of misconduct on the Batwoman set. Former Batwoman star Ruby Rose came forward with shocking allegations of abuse and neglect from the CW network. She shared multiple accounts of herself and crew members sustaining serious injuries, which left one individual with third-degree burns and another permanently unable to walk. Wow. But, of course, Warner Brothers denies everything. So we have to watch that closely to see what's going to happen with that. So sound like she just removed herself from the set, the movie itself. So she's like, I'm not going to be a part of this. So, you guys keep up with The Masked Singer? I guess not.
Redwine does.
I used to watch it, but I haven't watched it in a while now.
Well, they had they just revealed the hamster, which was Rob Schneider. He played in Deuce Bigalow, Grown Ups, Hot Chick. Yeah. So he was a hamster. So they just revealed that. So yeah. And last but not least, Tommy DeBarge, member of Switch. Remember Switch back in the day? He was 64. he died recently. So from complications, liver and kidney failure. They said he had been on dialysis for a long period of time. So he was 64. If nobody knows about Switch, boy, you need to look him up. You know, R&B funk band named Switch. Yeah, they were the joint back in the day. Yeah. Do you remember some of the songs from Switch?
Of course. There'll Never Be. I Call Your Name.
Yeah.
What was one of the other ones? Those are the first two that come to mind.
Love Over Again. That's another one too. So yeah.
Okay, I don't remember that one, but I remember There'll Never Be.
Yeah, that was the joint. That was it. Yeah. Yep. So rest in peace.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, Ketel. We're all up to date now. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that brings us down to the Kiss It list, Poppa DD. Can you explain about the Kiss It list?
Here's a list that
before we get into
people
it.
showed their butt over the last week or so. You got your girl Marjorie Taylor Greene being her typical jerk-off self.
Yeah, she's a special one, I tell you.
You got Candace Owens. She's a black conservative commentator for being loud and wrong, again, as usual.
Yeah.
Trump's new social media app called Truth Social already got hacked no sooner than it was announced.
He keeps trying to have his own social media thing because he got banned from Twitter and Facebook.
Oh, Lord.
I also heard that the code for it was stolen from somewhere else, and there's some issue about that.
God.
Then you got a Karen who threatened to call the cops on a black woman for walking her dog in a neighborhood where she also lived.
Yeah.
And the white woman thought she didn't live there. And a Trump supporter who told the Daily Show that Trump was still president and flies around on Air Force One in charge of the military.
What?
But not responsible for Afghanistan.
Trump lovers are off the chain.
They're crazy.
Yeah.
And the Coosa High School, I was talking about earlier, Rome, Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Suspending black kids for protesting the Confederate flag. And not
crazy.
the kids for using racial slurs against them or anybody that was doing anything else that had to do with whiteness. But I tell you, I just think, like I said, the parents need to pull their asses out at high school. You send your kids to the wrong goddamn school. And Trump, for disrespectful statements he made about the passing of General Colin Powell.
Oh, yeah.
What do you say?
He said Powell was a failure with the Iranian war, made bad decisions, he was horrible.
He said something about he was a rhino.
He was a rhino. He was a rhino.
I don't even know what that means.
Rhino, people loved him, but he was a horrible Joint Chiefs of Staff, and I would never hire him in my administration. But rest in peace just the same.
Yeah, I mean, on the day that he passed.
On the day he passed.
The family should get Trump for defamation. I'm telling you. Defamation of character.
That's true, too.
F you. That's what I would do.
F you and the dog you rode up on. Did you get that Utah school district that I was talking about? The way they were disrespecting those kids?
Yeah, for allowing racial attacks against students.
Yeah.
Don't forget about NFL. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. The NFL for being the national foul league.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anybody else? Oh, I got that guy that was the rapist on the train in Philadelphia fisting the goy.
The people that filmed that shit.
And the people that filmed it and didn't help, didn't report it, didn't do anything. All of y'all on the Kiss It list.
Yeah, sounds good.
Anybody else, Poppa DD?
That's all I got.
That's it? All right. Well, we have a gift wrap present for everybody on this week's Kiss It list. And here it is.
Kiss my entire ass. Kiss my Irish my ass.
You can just kiss my ass. Baby, you can just kiss my ass. Oh.
Well, you can kiss my country ass. I said if you got a problem with any of that, you can kiss my natural born redneck to the bone, ever loving country ass. That's right.
All right, welcome back to the Pajama Party. One, your host, Poppa DD. I'm here with Ketel
Hello.
and Redwine.
Oh, bonsoir, darling. Bonsoir. Well, we're down to the last word. Who's up first? You want to go, Poppa DD?
Yeah, I'll go. My last word is, with all the stuff we talked about now, and it's such a simple, it's just a simple remedy, you know. The same old things are happening to us over and over again, and we really should be immune to it by now. We shouldn't get excited about anything that a crazy white person does. Nothing. We shouldn't get excited about shit. If something happened to you on a common base, it shouldn't excite you no more. I don't know why we get so excited about shit that's happening all the time and every day. Trump shouldn't even phase our ass. And we should be doing reverse psychology to fuck his head for a minute. Because people think that they can say shit to black folks, and a lot of black folks just react. We just react. Every time, oh, did you hear that? Oh my God, you hear what he said? Oh my God. Damn, stop that. We know what they've been saying for 50 fucking years. Why do we get so excited about the same old shit? Calling us fucking monkeys and all this. Fuck that. They can say what they want to say. Know who you are and be who you are. You ain't got to, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. That's all I got to say on that.
Well,
I mean it sincerely.
My last word is the NFL needs to do right by these brothers who have been injured while playing the game of professional football. And I'm just saying, if they don't do right, I would be for picketing, not necessarily picketing, what's the word I'm going to say? I would be on the side of people who say they are no longer going to participate in watching it and being a part of it. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do. I'm just saying that when it comes down to it, if they don't get this thing right this time around, now that the truth is out, I'm done with the NFL. As much as I love football, I don't love it that much. Not at the expense of my people.
All right.
That's my last word.
Okay. My last word is, I want to chime on what I talked about earlier. We need to let's rally more for better voting machines and practices of voting. Let's just get it together. Let's get it right. Stop going back and forth. I think it's just a lot of times when people cry wolf, it's like a big smoke screen. With 45, big ass smoke screen that I've ever seen. You crying wolf like a crybaby. Shut the fuck up and move on. Go do something else with your life and stop crying about something that you didn't get.
Yeah, he lost that election.
That's right.
Big time. He lost that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you were embarrassed by your party or what.
Yes, she was. Yes, she was.
Go. Bye. See you later.
Yeah.
But see, he thought, and they thought that he was the quote unquote Messiah that's supposed to take them to the next level. He didn't take them no damn where. Because he wasn't smart enough. He wasn't intelligent enough to handle the job itself. So fuck off. Go do something else. That's my last word. Dropping the mic. Shit.
All righty. Dang. Dropping the mic on the last word.
You know what, Ketel? The same thing happened with George Bush's father. The same thing. 4 years, he was out. People said, nah, fuck all that. He was gone. And they picked fucking Bill Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They said goodbye.
enough is enough. Bye.
This guy, Bill Clinton, sounds a little better than his brother.
Right.
He was gone.
So, so.
What are you going to do?
Yep.
All right.
Yep, what you going to do?
We're going to do it again next week. That's what we're going to do. So, thanks to everybody for hanging out with us tonight, calling in, listening in, etc., etc. We appreciate you so much. Tell a friend about the Pajama Party Show. And meet us here next Friday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock on the West Coast. And you can figure out your times if you're in between those two coasts. And we'll do it again next Friday night. And that's it. We're going to say good night and get on out of here. Say good night, Poppa DD.
Good night, good night, good night.
Say good night, Ketel.
Good night.
And good night, bonsoir, adios, arrivederci, konnichiwa, see ya.
We got about 5 minutes left.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
Is it all over, Rock?
I guess so.
I bid you farewell, arrivederci, sayonara, and all that sort of cheers.
Well, I say when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Well, good night.
Yabiko. Sana.
I regret to announce this is the end. I'm going now.
Good night, and good luck.
Was it as good for you as it was for me?
Now give me a kiss and say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Goodbye now. Goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you for attending our show, and good night.
Pajama Party, grown and set